crafty home, and today is Tag Thursday, which I just decided to make up. I've actually been trying, sorry, I always have to get readjusted when I get my chair, I don't know why. Yeah, so Thursdays I have just been doing tags, so why not call it Tag Thursday, right? Right. I try to do tags on Thursdays. So today is one that I was tagged in quite a few, probably a couple months ago, by Amy from Amy C Books. You know I talk about her all the time. She is one of my friends, one of my booktuber friends. You totally need to go check her out. She is great. I will link her down below. She tagged me in this. This was actually first a blog tag, and then it was converted. I will try to I'll put the link to the blog down below. It's from the perpetual page turner. This is the A to Z bookish tag, by the way. And I can't remember who first brought it to BookTube, but I will make sure, I'm going to adjust you a little bit. I'll make sure to link the video down below. So I have not technically prepared. I scrolled through this list and kind of looked at it a little bit, so you'll have to bear with me. I decided not to get books out for this because that's just a lot of work. I can always put a picture up, and that's just easier. So, yeah, let's get started because there are, what, 26 questions since there are 26 letters in the alphabet. I'm smart. Yes. I teach preschool and kindergarten at the moment in 5th grade. So yeah, I should know my alphabet by now, right? We sing an alphabet song nearly every day. Okay, so first off, A is for author you've read the most books from. And I know that you can like go to Goodreads and just look. I don't know if you can do that on the app, however. So this is kind of a hard one for me because I'd have to, yeah, and that's not going to be on Goodreads for me because I haven't kept track well in the past. I am now, but I wasn't using Goodreads before. So I would definitely have to say it is Karen Kingsbury. She is a Christian author. She lives in the Pacific Northwest. It's definitely her because I've read all of her Baxter Family series, sagas. There's like 4 or 5 series, each with 4 or 5 books each. So I've read at least 20 books from her, and then I've read a ton of her other books, so probably closer to 30 or 40 books from Karen Kingsbury. She's amazing, one of my like must-buy authors, so yes, it would definitely be Karen Kingsbury. B is for best sequel ever, and for me, best sequel ever. I hate those ever things because it's constantly changing, but best sequel I can think of right now would be Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. To me, that was an amazing sequel because I finally felt drawn into the characters, and it was just amazing. I love Crown of Midnight, so that would definitely be that. Currently reading is C. I am currently reading How to Catch a Prince by Rachel Hush. I don't know how to say her last name. It's part of her Princess series, or is that what it's? Princess Wedding series, I believe. I've read one of the others, and I got the other one from Book Outlet, and then this one is one I'm reading for review. I'm over halfway through, and it's pretty good. I do like it. They're good, fluffy, fun books. So yeah, that is what I am currently reading. Next I'm going to, not that you need to know because that is not the question, but next I am planning on picking up Divergent because since Insurgent is coming out, I figured it was probably about time I picked up Divergent off my TBR. Anyway, D, drink of choice while reading. Oh, golly, that depends on what type of time of day it is and what season. Actually, my favorite thing, and I am completely out at the moment, maybe for my birthday I'll get some more. It's a couple months away, not till May, but anyway, tea from My Tea Drops, or is it just Tea Drops? I'll try to link them down below. Oh, they make yummy, yummy, yummy tea. It's just like, I think I've shared with you before, but in case you haven't seen that video, they're little like shaped tea things, and it has the leaves and seasonings, and you put that in and you stir it up and it's all there. My favorite that they have, my 2 favorites, there's a chocolate Earl Grey, which is amazing, and there's a pumpkin. I don't know if they have pumpkin this time of year, but they did earlier, and it was pumpkin chai, and that was really good too. Although there's so many. I love like nearly all of their flavors. So good. So that is my drink of choice. Although Like in the morning I drink coffee, and at night I would drink water. You know, but that would be my favorite. E-reader or physical book? Physical book for sure. I do like e-readers. I wish that, like, when you bought the physical book, I wish there was a way that you could get the ebook for free. Like, wouldn't that be cool? Because sometimes, like when I'm reading at night, I have like a headlamp that I stick on my head, but I have the e-reader that is backlit. And I'm really bad at reading two different books at a time, so if I could read the same book and then when it was time to go to bed, instead of having to wear that, I could just use my Kindle Paperwhite when my husband needs me to turn off the light. That would be cool. That's my dream, if every book came with a free copy of the ebook if you bought the physical book. But I love the feeling of the book. I'm like, if I had to choose one for the rest of my life, physical book all the way. F, fictional character you probably would have actually dated in high school. Fictional character I've dated 3 guys in my entire life. The first was my first husband. The second was a guy that I dated in between, and then the third was my current husband. So this is kind of a really hard question. I can think of one from a TV show, but I can't think of one from a book. Most of the guys I see in books are much more like geeky than I would. Much too like suave and cool. So I don't know. I honestly can't think of one. I'll tell you the one I can think of from a TV show, and that would be, oh golly, now I'm not thinking of his name, from NCIS. Oh, for goodness sake. You know, the geeky guy who does the computers. I can picture him in my head. Why can I not think of his name? I'll flash it on the screen because I honestly can't think of his name right now. I haven't watched an NCIS episode in a long time, but he reminds me so much of my husband, and yeah, so that's why. Yeah, that's a hard question for me. Okay. G, glad you gave this book a chance. That would be The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. The first book in the Mistborn series. I don't think I would have picked that up if it hadn't been for Year of Cosmere. It's one I didn't really think I would end up liking. And I am in love with that book. So I'm really glad I gave that a chance. Hidden Gem book. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I'm going to take it as like a book that not many people know much about, but that you think's really good. We'll go with that description for Hidden Gem. And I would say Hidden Wives by Claire Avery. I love that book, and I've never heard anybody else talk about it. It was one I found at a used bookstore, and I finally read it, and oh my goodness, it was so good. Important moment in your reading life. That would totally be finding BookTube. That has made me read more than just the Christian fiction books that I was kind of stuck in a rut with. Not that that's bad, but yeah, it's helped me find so many other genres, so many good books, and just brought that love of reading to life again, and just so many good things that BookTube has done for me. I'm so thankful I found it. That is definitely the most important. And I actually found it through my husband. He was watching planner videos at the time. I used to call it planner porn because he would watch it all the time, and it was just showing planners. I know it's cheesy that I called it that, but anyway. And there was this guy, this older gentleman, talking about where he keeps his notes for his BookTube videos, and I was like, BookTube, hello, what? And so I went searching. I searched for BookTube on YouTube and found, I think it was Nerd in Translation's video, and the rest is history. So yeah. Let's see. J, just finished. I just finished, I'm trying to think, Emerald Green by Christine Gear. I finished that series. So good. If you haven't read it, you need to. That's what it has: Ruby Red, Sapphire Blue, and Emerald Green. Kind of books you won't read. For me, that would be Amish fiction. I'm so tired of it. I used to like it. I read a few, enjoyed it, and then got more, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they are all exactly the same. So yeah, that would be it. Erotica, I will not touch with a 10-foot pole, and kind of books? I guess those are really the two major ones. Paranormal, for the most part, I don't really read either, but yeah. Longest book you've read? The Bible. That would definitely have to be the Bible, hands down. The Bible, yeah. Major book hangover because of the most recent one is definitely The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. I'm still suffering, and I've read 4 books from that since then. So good. All right. Number of bookcases you own. Well, that's kind of a hard question. If they're just the ones that have my books on them, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. But then if we count all of them in our house, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, I think. I think that's right. Someday, eventually, behind me, and you can only see like right behind me, but there's a whole wall here that we want to get built-in bookshelves built into, hopefully sometime soon. Floor to ceiling with like crown molding at the top and molding at the bottom is kind of my plan. And then I'll have so much more room for my books because I don't have enough room right now. Like one of my bookshelves, I have to share half of it with the kids too, so I don't have nearly enough. And the other one is like my craft books. This here, I don't know if you can see it in the frame, probably not right now, but right here is my craft bookshelf, and so it doesn't just have crafts on it, it has like little baskets with crafty things in it too. It's like my knitting bookshelf, so yeah. Okay. O is one book you have read multiple times. If we're ruling out the Bible, which I normally kind of do because that's not usually a type of books people talk on BookTube, but that would definitely be the one I've reread the most, obviously. But next would be the Gideon's Gift by Karen Kingsbury, which is the first book in her Red Glove series for Christmas time. They're novellas. I read all of them every year, but since that was the first one that came out, that would be the one I've reread the most. And rereading books is totally great for me because I have a horrible memory. But now because of BookTube, so many new books, I don't have time to reread as much because I almost feel guilty because my TBR is so long. But yeah, I have a horrid memory, so I don't usually, once I get into it, I kind of remember, like, oh yeah, I remember that now. But there's a lot of stuff that's new to me. So it's not, like my husband, he remembers everything to the tiniest detail. So it's not quite as much fun for him to reread a book. P is preferred place to read. Oh, for goodness sake. I could think of so many places I'd love to read, but don't get a chance to. But my favorite place to read is my bed. And I know a lot of people don't like to read in their bed. And, you know, if I could, I would much rather. There's a lot of places I would rather read, but that is where I prefer to read because most of the time my back hurts. I have arthritis and some major issues in my back. And so usually I lay on my heating pad and I read in my room. Plus I can kind of have the lights dimmed and I can kind of hide out in there. So the other favorite place to read is the bathroom. I constantly take a book with me, even if I'm not having to do number 2, just number 1, which is more information than you needed to know, but I will take a book with me and read a chapter because I can lock the door and I can hide from the kids and everybody. It doesn't always work. They pound on the door and talk through it, but usually I can slip in a few pages. Q, quote that inspires you, gives you all the feels from a book you've read. I can't think of a quote from any book right now. Oh, it would have to be a verse, I'm sure, because that's kind of me, but I can't think of one. I'm sorry, that's lame that I can't think of one, but I really can't. R, reading regret. Reading regret. I don't know that I really have a regret. Probably that I didn't, yeah, it probably would be that while I was married to my first husband, I didn't read that much because he wasn't a reader and he didn't think it was like cool, you know, so I didn't read as much, and that would probably be a big regret in my life, that I let him dictate how much I read. Never again will I do that, ever. I don't ever plan on being with a different husband than the one I'm with, and he loves what I read, but never. I'll never let a man change me that much, fundamentally. Just horrible. Anyway, S, series you started and need to finish. One where all of the books are out in the series. The only one I can think of right now, because usually I read I start a series and I just read it. I just go for it. So the only series I can think of where all the books are out and I have not read them all yet is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, and that problem will be fixed shortly because I own them all. T is for 3 of your all-time favorite books. Oh golly, I'm so bad at this. It always seems to change based on, you know, like what I've read recently. The Final Empire is definitely on that list. Tilda by Beverly Cleary, and Little Men by Louisa May Alcott. That list is going to change constantly. That was what I could think of right now. Unapologetic Fangirl for. Oh, for goodness sake, there's so many books that I'm an unapologetic fangirl for, but right now, the one that I'm telling everybody about and freaking out about, I've already mentioned it probably 3 times in this video, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. I am the biggest fangirl right now of Brandon. V, very excited for this release more than all others. Oh golly. At the moment, Winter by Marissa Meyer. I cannot wait for that book to come out. Why does it have to be so long from now? It's huge though, which I'm really excited for, that it's a big book. It's like over 800 pages, I think. So excited. Worst bookish habit. Worst bookish habit? I don't know that I have a bad bookish habit. I guess my worst bookish habit that I can think of right off the top of my head is that when I check out way too many books from the library, way too many books, and I renew them and usually don't read them all, like in the time that I have them, but I just want them here in case I need to read them, which is so bad because maybe somebody else needs to read it. But anyway, it is what it is. I think I probably have, oh golly, 20 or more right now checked out from the library, and that's just for me, not including the kids. Too many. X marks a spot. Start at the top left of your shelf and pick the 27th book. Oh, well, I can't really get out. Okay. I'm gonna move the camera, but I'm gonna kind of edit out this part. I'm gonna go count it and I'll tell you what it is. So there we go. Okay, so I counted 27 on the bookshelf that's closest to me. It's kind of my main bookshelf because it has all my fiction, all of my fiction on it. Okay, maybe not. So number 27 was Hannah's Hope by Karen Kingsbury, which is the 3rd book in her Red Glove series for Christmas. X, so we would be on Y. Yes, I know my alphabet. Your latest book purchase. I didn't really, well, I mean, I kind of purchased them. I did purchase them, but my husband told me to. They were my Valentine's present, and that would be the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. How many times you play a drinking game? I don't encourage that actually, but with how many times I said Brandon Sanderson in this thing. And Z is Snatcher Book. That's really funny. Oh, I get it now. Z Snatcher Book. The last book that kept you up way late. Emerald Green by, what is it by? I always get it wrong. Kirsten Gear. I stayed up till 1 in the morning reading that. Yes, it was so good. I was also during Readorama, so I just stayed up late reading, period. So there you go. That is that. So next is time to tag some people, and instead of going through all of your videos and seeing if you've done this, I know a lot of people have done this lately, I'm just going to pick some people and we'll just go from there. So Rachel from Rachel's Page Turners, Trina from Between Chapters, Liz from Elizabeth Book Babble, Kelly from Kelly's Book Spill, and Sam from Novels and from Novels and Nonsense. I will learn how to talk. English is my first language. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. That's kind of a long tag. Sorry it's such a long video, but until next time, I'll chat with you later.